I wanted to kind of end on this topic, the balance
Mm,
of giving and receiving,
mm.
and also how men can be better balancing their desire to be providers, protectors, and emotional partners. So and there's a cadence, there's a dance. It's going to be different for everyone, but the giving and receiving, right? When it comes to relationships, what do you think?
Man, I think so much asks us to step into the masculine frame. That's the term that's being sort of, thrown around out there, your masculine frame. And I think that gets bastardized. And so you have these men out there going to these weekend workshops where some Navy SEAL is for 15 grand is going to teach you how to be a better man.
Mm-hmm.
They should probably stick to storming, compounds, not
Yeah,
relationship to self
yeah.
or relationship to your partner. What they do is great, but I don't think it's particularly good for themselves or relationships at large.
Mm-hmm.
And so, stepping into that masculine frame and being the provider and being the protector and all of that, that's something most of us are fairly naturally geared towards and kind of know how to step into. It's the emotional frame,
Mm.
because your partner typically needs to have that um, container and that space as well. And your ability to touch into your own emotions will allow you to help it to touch into their emotions and make them feel understood, seen, connected to, all of those things. Right. And so, I got that from the women in my life. I didn't get that from my father. And, that was difficult for me.
Mm.
Uh, but I like to say that emotional window that we are allowed is a very, very narrow one, right? And so if we go above that top pane, so to speak, of that emotional window, we typically go into rage, we go into anger, and we become the
Mhm,
pariah of our families
mhm,
or our communities. If we go below the bottom pane of that window, then we start we start questioning our masculinity. The ick
mhm,
factor kicks in. Is that, that's a thing? Um, and so I think that we have to start gaining a palette for our own emotional landscape and an ability to go there. That's the next frontier, I think, for us as men, to be able to tolerate our feelings. And we've pathologized our feelings in this country. We don't want to feel what we need to feel. We desperately
mhm,
need to feel it. And so
mhm.
we bury it. And I think this is in part why women live longer than we do, right? Because,
Yeah,
broad stroke speaking, of course, they tend to be more process oriented beings than we are.
sure, sure.
Yeah.